Welcome to the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast, the podcast where we make 5-minute decisions that can change your business, your relationships, and your life. Hey, this is Dean Soto, founder of prosulam.com and freedomin5minutes.com, and we're here with another Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode. Today's topic is this: pay me what I am worth, baby. That and more coming up. Hey, first off, I am so sorry. The sound is going to suck. I already know this. You probably already know this already. But I'm driving in the country back to my house. And I know from how I am, it's 5:46 p.m. I know when I get home, I'm going to find some excuse not to do the podcast. And if this is the first time you've ever listened to this podcast, if this is the first time you've ever heard this podcast, go back one episode and you'll hear that the sound quality and the audio is much, much better. But right now I'm in my van, it's reverberating, it's the way it is. Sorry. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. If you don't like this, I apologize. It's a good story. You're going to love it. I promise. All right, so let's get into it. So, when was it? It must have been August, September. So August, September, October, November. No, so September. So September, October, November, December. Back in September, one of my friends who was also a client, he worked for a client of mine and was using my virtual assistants in his coaching business, and he developed all these, he did all the videos, and the virtual assistant did all these processes for him, all the process documentation and everything like that. The guy is a whiz with numbers, and he's great with systems, and he would make about $30, I believe, per phone call that he would have with these clients from the company that he was working with. So every month he would have about like 60 to 70 people that he would coach, and that was about the max he can do. Well, he started working with my virtual assistants and doing 5-minute videos to start getting process documents created, and ended up creating all of the, I want to say maybe about 2 to 3 hours worth of video, and to the point where prior to all of that, he was spending 8 hours, 10 hours a day with these clients, and was making maybe around $30,000. To then, after the fact, he not only went down to, I want to say, 2 to 4 hours a week, 2 to 4 hours a day of actual work, to then making around $70,000 to $90,000 in his job. Okay, so we were also really, really, really good friends, and through this whole thing, and basically we ended up doing. He wanted to get into systems consulting. He obviously didn't have the VAs and things like that in the system to get systems and process virtual assistants, but he loved creating systems for different companies. Well, I brought him on to, I basically turned him on to one of my past clients. And we worked together to develop a marketing plan, a plan to basically fix all of the systems for this client that we had. This particular client they had several businesses, and they were just extremely all over the place. And the way that they would normally fix problems was simply to throw more bodies at it. Throw as many bodies at the problem that they could. And this would increase cost. And really, one of the biggest issues that they had was they would get a customer, the customer would be serviced, and they'd be extremely happy with the product that they got. But this particular company had something like 10, 11, 12 products that each customer could potentially go through, but they would always stop at one product because they didn't have a process to push the customer to the next, and to the next, and to the next, and to the next. So all of that being said, when they were leaving so much money on the table, and actually sometimes hurting their customers, because their customer had a strategy that would take 2 to 3 years to implement, but they would only implement one part of the strategy, and then the customers left wondering, what the heck? Like, aren't you going to continue to help me to grow my portfolio? So we developed this marketing plan that's it was more of a systems and process plan, showing that we would essentially 10x their investment in us. Okay. And with that plan, I basically helped him to be the prime subcontractor, prime contractor on this contract, and I would actually be his subcontractor. Well, lo and behold, from the way things are looking, after about 5 months of work, the customer has indeed 10x their investment. They have actually 10x their investment in what they invested in us. However, they want to continue to grow, and they want to continue to move forward with what we've been doing, but they have a very creative way of essentially they want to pay us a certain percentage of the pipeline that we've created. Well, that percentage doesn't equal that much money at all. And it's very flattering. It's awesome. That's great that they even want to give us a certain percentage of that. But compared to what they've made in revenue, and compared to what we've made before, it's not even close. And so, but my friend essentially is totally fine with continuing and not asking for that additional money, or at least was at the time. He didn't realize, actually, I shouldn't say he was fine. He was fine until he realized after our talking how much money he was leaving on the table. Talk about us helping them leave money on the table, but how much money we were actually leaving on the table as well. And so when I brought it, this actually just happened today. We had a phone conversation. I brought it up to my friend, and I said, "Hey, how much do you think we've made toward their bottom line and increased their bottom line in the last 4 to 5 months?" And he basically said about gut-wise, once we look at the numbers, we'll know for sure. But according to his gut, we've made probably about 20%. We've increased revenues by about 20%, which initially he downplayed. But then I said, "Look, dude, by that 20%, if that's the case, then we did 10x their investment in us. We literally got them a 10 times return in their investment with us." And so that is not something to not something to just kind of downplay. And I said, look, right now, you should be a superstar. You should be we should both be a superstar, because we have increased their revenue significantly, and we've met the obligation, and I think we actually even exceeded how much we would end up making them just off of this. And so I had to go look at the numbers and everything like that. And so after the phone conversation, it went from, oh, cool, I'm so excited about getting a percentage, which ends up being a pittance compared to even what we got before, to, oh man, we're like totally shortchanging ourselves. This is not cool at all. Like, why are we working for basically nothing? And so So we have a plan in February to start bringing this up, okay? Bring this up and use numbers and say, basically, we want to grow. I keep saying basically a lot. We want to grow this to something bigger. We want to grow this to something more, okay? And the way that we're going to do that is we need to have X amount of dollars. Otherwise, we literally can't do this. It's not financially feasible. Okay, you've already made 10x your investment. If you put this amount in, you're gonna 10x it again. So why not? Why not do that? So all that being said, why is this important? It's important because a lot of the times we shortchange ourselves. We don't look at the results that we have brought to other people. We don't look at the results that we've brought to ourselves. We don't look at the results that we've brought to our families, right? We don't see the results. The results are there, but we don't actually look at them because we think that we're not worthy enough. Maybe you think that you're not worthy enough, or there's no way you could possibly ask for an increase in pay, or there's no way you could ask for additional support, or for whatever it might be, right? Because you're not worthy, or whatever it might be. A lot of the times it's just because we shortchange ourselves. And so the fact of the matter is that when we do that, we miss out not only on helping ourselves, but we miss out on helping others as well. I see this happen a lot, especially in the business world. People who are in the service business, they will not charge what they should be charging. And what will happen is they initially do it because they think that they need to be the lowest cost. But then after a while, they start going and saying, this sucks. Like, this is... I don't like this. I don't like working for this person. And they'll start getting upset and frustrated and resentful. And the entire partnership breaks up. And both businesses are hurt, right? Rather than the collision, rather than the, hey, look, this is what I've done for you in cost savings as well as revenues increase. That being said, I cannot, because of where we're at right now, I cannot continue to help you to grow unless you continue to invest in me as well. I'm investing my time into you. You need to invest in me as well so we can keep getting this thing growing, right? The same thing goes with family stuff. I can't continue, honey, I can't continue to let's say, watch the kids all day, all night while you're out gallivanting around or something like that. I need you to help and invest in me and let me have some time to myself, or I need you to help me to do some kind of house project or something like that, because I'm not. This is all frustrating me. Whatever the case might be, when you collide, or when you make the decision to basically to ask that somebody invest in you, whether it's time, whether it's a talent, or whether it's a treasure, whether it's money, you are helping them, and you're helping yourself as well. Okay, you cannot help someone. This is why I love being Catholic, but holy crap, like seriously, no pun intended, holy crap. But the Catholics are the worst. Seriously, like everything needs to be free. Everything needs to be free. There is no way. You cannot help people for free. You cannot help people for free. Somebody is going to pay somehow. It's going to be paid with time, it's going to be paid with a talent, or it's going to be paid with a treasure. There's nothing wrong with money, and there's nothing wrong with you having money for the time and for the effort that you have put in. So what is it right now? What's the one thing right now that you feel like you're being undervalued? What I want you to do, and this is what I had my friend do, and what we're doing for February, is I want you to look at the numbers, or at least the investment. If it doesn't have to do with numbers, it could be numbers of hours. It doesn't have to be money. It could be numbers of hours. It could be how much you put in of your craft. If you're very skilled in something, how many hours or how much money have you put in worth? How much has the other person gained? What was their gain from it? And what do they continue to gain from it? And also, how much money or how much time or how much stress have you saved that other person or that other organization? I want you to write all of those things down, even if it's just estimates and you know it's pretty close ballpark figure. Write those things down and look at them, and those will give you an idea of whether or not you need to ask for more. And I don't say want to ask for more. A lot of the times you need to ask for more. It could be more money. It could be a better position. It could be more time. It could be something. But you might need to ask for more. And those numbers will tell you very quickly if that's the case. All right, so this is Dean Soto with freedomin5minutes.com. Go check that out. Sorry once again for the audio. Sorry, you're just going to have to deal with it for this episode. Go check out the prior episode if you want to hear some good audio. But I think that this story and this lesson will help you out tremendously. And I expect it's going to help me out tremendously as well, because it will be a lot of money next month. All right, so we'll see you later, and in the next Freedom in 5 Minutes episode.